Hey. How's it going? I am very tired. I've been filming and editing all day because I didn't like the original video I filmed yesterday. So I ran around the whole day just trying to re-edit and re-film everything. So it's just taking some time because obviously I'm missing like half my laptop screen, which I still need to get fixed, which is a hassle because I have to go all the way to Seoul. I really don't want to go to Seoul because it's like 2 hours by like the subway. Uh, Anywho, is there anything you guys want to talk about today? Because I don't really have a topic that I don't really have a topic in mind. Do you guys have one? I don't know if you guys can hear my roommate, but I'm. Mm, oh, so my neighbors these days are actually really loud, and it's actually like really like I wouldn't say like completely scaring me, but it's like really concerning the amount of noise and the amount of banging that's actually going on. School hasn't started yet. Thankfully, we're not starting until the first week of March. Um, at this point in time, I'm pretty sure we're going to be online for a good couple of weeks again. And I actually don't know if we're actually going to have completely offline classes this year. I think this semester is going to be like half on, half off again. Even though practically, literally last semester was just off, it was just online the whole thing. And then they took us offline for like 2 weeks, which made no sense whatsoever. Um, but yeah, I think next semester would probably be less online, but there'll still be a good while online just to like, set things down and see how things are going to see whether or not like we're gonna get like an increase of corona. Because our university is so strict, not completely strict, but we have a lot of checkpoints and scanning to do every part of the school that we go to. When we went to the library, we had to scan into the building. And then when we went downstairs to the library entrance, we had to scan in again to say that we actually physically went inside the library. So, yeah, and then you have to like get your temperature checked before you can borrow books as well. It's like a whole ordeal to borrow books now. But yeah, it's interesting that they're taking it really seriously compared to other stuff I've been seeing on media. I actually haven't fixed my laptop yet. So like there's a good bad amount of my screen that's still not working. So yeah. I'm just waiting for energy to come to me to go to Seoul. Because we're about to go to Ulsan for like a week for New Year's. We're going to Jin's family's place to celebrate. Um I'm going to his hometown to celebrate with his family because I can't celebrate with my family this year, obviously, but I'm going to be FaceTiming them a lot. And then I'm going to do a video teaching you guys how to make my mom's dumplings as well. Realistically, it's me learning from her videos where she's yelling at me through them. And then you guys are going to try and learn while I'm failing at the same time. So we'll all fail together. So it'll be very, very, very fun, but delicious. Yeah. And I want that. And then I'm gonna take some with me to Ulsan. His parents are very funny about it. They were like, "Is there anything we need to prepare like beforehand for Angie?" And I was like, "Really? Like, you don't have to. When we get there, I'm just gonna buy some fruit and like sweet cakes and make my little altar to do my like prayers and offerings to my ancestors and stuff like that." Yeah, I'm probably going to fix it before classes start. That's the plan. So I'll probably get a fix on the last week of Feb because the guy I asked, he said it would take about 2 to 3 business days to get done. So Jin and I would have to plan to go to to Seoul, spend the day in Seoul, then come home, and then come back like 3 days later to pick it up. So we might as well do another day out. I don't know. We'll see. Because we have to be careful right now because, Corona. And we don't want the restrictions get any worse. Because I would like to go back to work. No, thank you. I still have to learn how to properly teach people how to cook. Because right now, all I'm saying, like, I have friends that are like, okay, your recipes work for anyone that actually knows how to cook. And I'm thinking, right, you're right about that because not everyone knows how to like measure stuff or like, cut things and stuff. So I think I'll do a video where like I'm gonna show you guys simple things that you guys can learn to use. Um, by the way, like I'm not formally trained to cook in the kitchen. Like I grew up in the kitchen. My family owned bistros when I was little, so I grew up behind the counter in the kitchen, right? Um, but I also cooked for my family growing up, so stuff like that, teaches you. I did hospitality in high school, so I had to do 2 weeks of like industry training at a bistro restaurant where I did like a lot of chopping and a lot of grunt work for the kitchen. That was pretty fun though. Um, Funny story though, the head chef there, I think his name was Andrew, and he was like the scariest dude. Like he was very uptight, and on the last day of my placement with my friend, what ended up happening was he ended up using his like staff card to buy my friend and I milkshakes and cakes because he was so impressed with us. And all the staff were making like a really big deal because they were like, he's never done this. Like he's always complained about every like student experience that he's had with student chefs coming in. And I was like, we literally just followed his instructions. Like how bad were the others at following instructions? But literally cutting stuff is very fun and easy. And measuring stuff, I know like most ethnic moms are like, just follow your heart and season to when your ancestors tell you to stop. To be honest, that's pretty true when it comes to seasoning though. I do the same thing. Like I will just season it until I think, yeah, looks about right. It's like the lazy way of cooking, but it's also the proper way to make good, delicious food. Like you don't have to follow a recipe to the T for it to taste good. My favorite meal, she makes three really good dishes. Like I can't pick between them. And honestly, my best friends eat them whenever they come around, and they're always like, "Bro, this is heaven." But she makes the best, obviously, dumplings, and then she makes these amazing like buns. You can have all sorts of different fillings, but my favorites are like the chives, eggs, and the rice noodles. It's a vegetarian one. Um, it's not vegan because it's got eggs, but it's vegetarian and it's really good. And then how the one is like pork belly and onion, and there's sometimes she adds potatoes in there, so it makes it even better. And then her last dish is shallot pancakes. Um, those are vegan though, if anybody's interested. But she likes to add an egg in when she's frying it up. So you get like this pancake that has like this egg on it, and it gets crispy. You eat it with this sriracha. Oh, I should probably ask for that recipe too. But she has been complaining. She's just like, come home already, you can come home and then do some stuff here and then go back. And I was like, I think if I come home now, I probably wouldn't come back, to be honest. Mm. Most important is I that is the meals you make a simple You're not wrong there. I remember in hospitality, was it in food tech class in year 10? Yeah, so it's like the year before you enter your senior years. But anyways, in year 10, I was in food tech because I dropped out of my accelerated maths class because I didn't want to do maths anymore. But in that class was really funny because, yeah, you're right. Like some girls don't know how to boil water. And I was literally in there and I was like, how do you guys not know how to cut something? Like, there were girls that were taking a million years to cut things, and my teacher was getting frustrated too. And I just felt really bad for her. There was one girl that was cutting cucumbers and she was making the biggest deal out of it. She's like, I'm gonna be such a good wife. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really proud of you learning how to cut cucumbers and stuff. But at the same time, like, please cut faster. The class is only an hour. You're spending 30 minutes on this cucumber. Like, please speed this shit up. Yeah. She was also the one that made butter instead of cream, so props to her for the over whipping. Um, which is probably also very painful to be honest, because over whipping cream, meaning you're like whipping, yeah. We had hand mixers at the time, so it wasn't was it we had whisk, so we had to whisk it ourselves. So yeah, she got some muscle in there to make butter out of the cream. Oh man. I think one thing I really want to do is when I get to move out and live by myself is to just redo, like have a kitchen that, fits what I like and what I want to do in the kitchen. So right now, obviously, I told you guys I don't have a microwave. I do not have an oven. I don't even have a pot with a lid. Hey, an electric fan. I like your username. It's cute. So yeah, like I said, I don't have an oven. I don't have a microwave, and I don't have a pan or a pot with a lid on it. Right now, I boil shit like in a pan. That's how I make tea at the moment. I literally get a pot of water and just like it's literally a pan. It's literally a pan just boiling water. So yeah, it's like this dire needs and stuff. I don't have a peeler. I don't even have a mandolin. No, I know. Eventually we'll get there. But for now, like our room doesn't have enough room to put things, so I just have to wait it out and just be patient and stuff. So yeah, because when we we're moving into this building and we're looking at the rooms and stuff, the room next door where the Koreans live is the room that we originally wanted, but then our landlord wouldn't let us have it for some reason. Um, she kept saying that it's because our friend was going to leave in like 2 months, so she wouldn't let us have it. And but we're going like the other two of us are going to be here for like ages, so you can just let us have the room. And she was insistent not to let us have it, even though she made a really really big deal about like three of us living in the tiniest room upstairs. Um, but yeah, like she just made a really big deal, and then when we came in to see the room, she's like, "Oh, actually, never mind." And we're like, "You made it seem like you weren't gonna let any of us live in this building for a second." And then, funny enough, 3 out of the 4 rooms in our entire building is actually rented by foreign students from our university. Good shit. And the one that she needs to worry about the most is the room next door with the Koreans, because there was blood on the floor, there's banging. Like, I swear to God, the police have been downstairs multiple times. I don't know if they actually came into our building, but they were downstairs multiple times. So it's a bit concerning at this point in time, because I was kept awake at like 4 a.m. today with their banging and running around and throwing shit. And I think someone was drunk and was banging on their door to let them in as well. By the way, drunk people around Korea is very normal. They have minimal drunk laws. Um, yeah, no, these Koreans have not moved. They're still in that room, and that room's the only one with the microwave. That's why I kind of wanted that room, because it already came with a microwave. But yeah, they have that room, and it's a lot bigger. It's the biggest room, and it's the same amount of rent as the room I'm in, but obviously it's a lot bigger. So yeah, but I am getting a new roommate in a couple of months as well. My current roommate is going to move upstairs with our other friends because none of us are working at the moment, so rent is a bit tight. So her rent is like 250 upstairs, and my rent's 300. So she's gonna move up there, and we're gonna get another friend. So my rent's gonna still be 150 per person. And they're gonna split theirs. And gas is pretty cheap considering the amount of times we leave it on because it's freezing. And that's the only heating we have. So yeah, like that's fun. But we don't really do much these days because restrictions. None of us can work. At most, Jen and I would just go around locally and go on a random little date. So we are a bit worried about next door. That's something else to worry about. But yeah, the reason why I want to move out is just to have more room for myself. Plus, rent is practically would be around the same price, to be honest. When June was going to move out, he looked around for a lot of stuff, and he basically found like rooms that were roughly about 200 a month for one person to live in. So yeah. Okay, like I'm just saying, I've been in bed all day, so thank you if you're trying to compliment me. I don't know, my brain's not working. I've just been staring at a screen all day, trying to freaking edit and not get annoyed at hearing myself speak so much on my laptop. But anywho, so yeah, like I don't know, a lot of the videos I'm trying to come out with for you guys is to help students or other people that are going through the same things where you're like just broke from not being able to work and just trying to be healthy and be good. Yeah, I don't know. The only one that calls me cute half the time is Jin, and he's hanging out with his major friends at the moment. But Jin got a job. He's gonna work at the uni dorm. Um, don't know what's happening with that yet, but he has been hired, so he's gonna be starting, I think, tomorrow or this coming week, which is pretty exciting because he at least has a living space now. He gets to live on the campus still, even though he's not a student, which is good because he was excited to move in with his aunt, but at the same time, he's like, I'm not gonna have a lot of privacy, if you get what I mean. Yeah. He said he'd be doing like paperwork and stuff, but also like cleaning because a lot of the rooms are empty at this time because classes don't start for another month. And with that being said, like a lot of the times, like I said at the start, most of our class are probably going to be online for a good amount of time as well, just to lessen the spread of corona. So yeah, they just have to be very careful with these things, and they're just taking every precaution possible. Um, but yeah, like I entered my classes. Man, I got in the. I've had like the currently like the biggest problem with all my professors. Not a huge problem, but just enough to be really annoyed at him, I guess. Ah, basically, last semester, I missed out a couple of weeks. I missed out 1 week more than I should have because you are only kind of allowed to miss like 4 weeks. I missed five. Um, and because I missed five, that's an automatically fail because of your attendance, right? So I messaged all my professors on our like cyber accounts and stuff, and I was like, I don't have any excuses for you guys for me missing classes, but I just wanted to let you know that like during this time, my uncle died, my dad's health went like dropped down, and I was like trying to prepare to go home, but like also not freak out too much, and I was like extremely depressed. Like there was just a lot of things going on. Um, and I was extremely like shut down for a good couple of weeks. And then this one professor was like to me, when I saw him for finals, he was like to me, "Oh, like I need to talk to you about your attendance." And I was like, "Did you get my message?" And he's like, "What message?" So he opens it up and looks at the message, and then he goes, "Oh, okay." And then he goes, "Well, you need to come and speak to the professors. I'll let you know when." Man, never let me know when. And then he went and talked to one of my friends and was saying that I never contacted him and never talked to him about why I missed my classes, even though he literally read those messages in front of me and another student and was talking to the student about it. And I was just very confused why he was saying that like I didn't talk to him and he's making a really big deal out of it. And then so my friend then gave me his phone number to contact him. Um, which we tried to, which turns out he put the wrong number on the actual website. So the professor himself put the wrong contact number on the actual website. So I was like, how are students supposed to find you now? But anyways, we managed to find that friend also had his like online ID stuff, so I could like message him. So I messaged him again. He read my message, um, didn't reply. And Jin was like to me, maybe you should change courses and not take both of his classes this semester. And I'm just thinking, like, maybe I should, but maybe I should just get them out of the way so I don't have to deal with him later on in my degree in that sense. Because eventually I will have to take his classes. Um, so yeah, like that's my dilemma at the moment. But on the plus side, I'm only taking 2 major classes this semester to kind of let my brain relax. So 2 major Taekwondo classes, 1 Korean class, and then the rest of them are like business and English classes because I'm trying to get a good GPA to accommodate for what the fuck happened last semester to get a cheaper tuition for my following semester. Because our school has a system, if you get a really good GPA, you get discounts and stuff. So if I can get a good GPA, then I can get like more discounts basically. Yeah. Yeah. Living with family is sometimes a good idea, but it's also not a good idea in that sense. Like he wants to save up when he moves to America, but Um, it's not really the big issue. He just kind of wants to do his own thing, which a lot of people like our age want to do basically. So yeah, like that's kind of the whole thing. We just want a bit more freedom. That's kind of why I left the dorm because the dorm had way too many rules and I did not like any of them. I was like, how are we supposed to, work? And they're like, you have to fill in paperwork for that. And I was like, oh my God. And then you get in trouble if you work too much as well, because technically you're not supposed to work that much as a student visa as well. Um, that's the thing. At the moment, we're just trying to see whether or not things will get a little bit back to normal. Because right now, like, they're saying that we can start working again perhaps in February. My parents are trying to support me to be here for another semester because they see that I want to study and stuff. But if after the semester things have not changed and I still can't go back to work, then I probably will go back to Australia after the semester's done. Um, and then Jin will be in Missouri in August. So we're just seeing how things go. But right now, I just really don't want to go back to Australia. Not because like this is what I want. Like, how do I explain this? I'm not trying to like say that like um let me just like try and word this properly, I guess. Like I'm not trying to run away from all my shit in Australia, but like at the same time I wanna study and like set up something that I want to do in my life to be here and to do, all of this. But at the same time, like if worst comes to worst, I will have to go back. And if I do go back, I probably won't come back here because then if I go back, I'm 23 this year. I should really be focusing a little bit more on what I'm going to do for part of time, like in that sense, because I can't just keep going between the countries so much as well. So I might go back to uni in Australia or something like that as well. But it really depends on how the next couple of months play out. Um, if I can, go back to work, then I can go work. If I find new jobs, then I can work even more, or like I win the lottery or something, praying to every deity around, just hoping for a miracle. But it's funny because everyone's always like, oh, 2020 was supposed to be my year, and then this shit happens, and you're like, yeah, that sounds about right. It literally just sounds about right because I think a lot of people my age or around the same age or anything like that, a lot of people were just really wanting a new year to do something. And then obviously the pandemic hit, and there were a lot of people who didn't have a lot of plans solid in place for these situations because obviously no one has anything planned for a situation like this, right? So everyone's just scrambling and trying to do their best. Props to everyone for trying and doing their best, but it is a long hard road, especially when you don't have enough things prepared for it. So I just hope that whatever I'm uploading helps someone in some sense. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I did do a lot of grocery shopping this week. Yeah, literally praying for things to get better. Massive praying. Yeah, I went grocery shopping this week a lot. Got a lot of vegetables and a lot of megarang. Okay, I don't. Like, can someone tell me if this is true, right? Because my brothers ate a lot, right? But my brothers were also too lazy to eat sometimes. So, like, they might just have one really, really big meal once a day because they were busy gaming. But how frequently do dudes eat? Like, I feel like Jin has like 4 or 5 actual meals a day, and they're big portions. Like, I already give him really big portions of dinner when we're like having dinner together. But like the dude keeps eating and eating and eating like the I've never experienced this, but can anyone like verify if you know teenage slash 20-year-old dudes just eat a lot? Like, is that a thing? Because I'm new to this whole scene. Actually, I barely eat myself, so oh gosh, I should be prepared for Jin to eat more then. Gotcha. But I do find that like when guys live alone, a lot of the times they don't really know what to eat either. Like I found out that Jin eats a lot of like processed and prepackaged food. Um, like he'll eat out a lot because he lives in the dormitory. But then since I kind of like started cooking more for him, he's just been taking all my Tupperware again. I have three Tupperware back at the moment, and the rest are at his house. Yeah. Oh God, 4 a.m. Actually, I can't even get a glass of water at 4 a.m. because Jin literally just death grips the shit out of you when he sleeps. Man was probably a koala in his previous life or something like that. Like I wouldn't even be surprised at this rate. Uh, but I do have a lot of things planned for his birthday because his birthday is up in March, which is around the same time as the rest of my family. Pretty much, I have my brother's birthday on the 3rd of March, then Jin's birthday on the 11th, and then my dad's on the 16th. And then my little brother is like the 8th of April. So they're all around the same time. So I should prepare something, but I don't know what to really prepare. Um, which is interesting though, because 3 days after Jin's birthday is White Day. And White Day is a very like Asian tradition for some reason. Like I think the only country that I know that do it is like Japan. I think China does it as well. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. But Korea does it as well. So for Valentine's Day, it's the girl's job to do chocolates and presents and stuff. But then on White Day, which is exactly 1 month after Valentine's Day, it's the guy's job to reciprocate what the girls gave them. So we're going to be going down the Korean route for this holiday. So I will be preparing Valentine's Day. However, we're in Busan at that time because 12th of Feb is Lunar New Year's, and then 2 days later is Valentine's Day. Yay! So I had to get everything organized beforehand. I don't really know what to make him because I would like to make chocolates, but we're gonna be there like way early. Like I think we're going up there on the 8th or 9th. So it's a bit hard to hide chocolates for like 5 or so days. And hello. Dumplings. Yeah, I guess so. Like I mean I wouldn't mind making dumplings for him, like that's for sure. But like I think I wanna give him like presents and stuff because like he eats my food enough already. You know what I mean? Like I can make him like a 12 course meal, but to me I still feel like it's just every other day. So I want to make it a little bit special because he did do a lot for my birthday. He like full planned out where we were going. We got like really good lunch. He got me like a whole ass cake. Like I'd love to make him a cake, but the only cake I could possibly make right now is a no bake cheesecake or a crepe cake. In my defense, I don't know if I want to make a no bake cheesecake here, only because I don't want to have to go to like 3 different shops to buy ingredients. Because some shops will have this, some shops will have that, some shops won't have this and that. Like, I'm still trying to figure out Korean shops. Let's go with that. That's all right. I'm not until September, so I got ages. So, obviously, Jin will miss this birthday, which is fine because I will miss his next birthday. Unless the things are okay and I get to go visit him and surprise him for his birthday. But who knows? It's hard to know what's going to happen in the world these days. Like we never expected anyone to literally eat the rich already by doing all the GameStop stock and stuff like that. That's funny though. Reading up on that, like they have cake mixes, but I don't have an oven, so it's a bit hard. Unless I'm making like souffle pancakes, which I probably could, but I would have to like break my arm mixing the meringue. because I don't have a handheld beater. Man, I miss my kitchen back in Australia. I literally had everything set up. Next time I go home, what I'm going to do is just take all my equipment with me back here. Nah, I'm kidding. That's too much because then I have to bring a conventional oven with me, and I don't think that's a good idea. It's not a good idea to bring a whole oven with you. Yeah. I mean, because okay, like I'm used to going all out and making like birthday cakes for birthdays and stuff like that. That's why it feels a bit weird for me. But I'll get over it until I get an actual oven. Why is my phone blowing up for absolute no reason? I'm just gonna tell you guys now, like military dudes are the funniest and wackiest people. One of my best friends in Australia just sent me a photo of him saying that he killed a spider and he's so proud of himself because now he can sleep because the spider's been terrorizing him for 3 days. That's my country's first line of defense. I love the guy to bits, but like, grow a pair and kill the damn spider. Actually, that is one thing that I don't miss from Australia is the amount of spiders that I actually have to deal with here. It's fucking great because there are none half the time. I mean, back in Oz, like half the time you go to the bathroom or like just to wash your hands or something, you got to look out for corners or like anything. Like even in the shower, like before I shower, I'll literally turn the shower water on for like a decent amount of time because it also needs to warm up, right? But at the same time, I'm like, flush out all of the spiders or whatnots in there because there are so many bugs. And like, it's not that like we don't sanitize the place either. Like they just get in. So yeah, like you can call pest control, but it doesn't really do much. There's just so many, but they're harmless. Like most of the time, 80% of the spiders inside the house are huntsmen, or like daddy long legs. So you just let them do their business, But if you see like a redback or anything like that, then you kill that because you don't want that in your house or in your backyard at least. I remember one time I tried to have like a barbecue in my house, right? Like in the backyard. And I opened our charcoal barbecue grill thingamabob, and there was just this massive nest of redback spiders. And I was just like, nope, 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 nope. So I did what any sane person would do. I grabbed the Raid spray and I just used the whole bottle on the entire grill. And then I ended up borrowing my friend's grill instead. Yeah, they had to bring it in a car because we could not barbecue with that grill. There were too many dead spiders in there. And then we cleaned it out the next day because my parents were like, we're not throwing out this barbecue. My parents are Asian and they're not about throwing out the gear because you decided to drown the whole thing in Raid. Yeah, I think I might actually do the crepe cake again. I might have to buy a couple of ingredients to do it because I am low on supplies. But I also think like he probably doesn't want to eat like cinnamon crepe cake all the time because I just have a lot of cinnamon. Ah, you guys are so sweet. You guys are always sending me lovely messages about random things. Thank you guys. Oh, I hope you guys ate well today, though. I've had like literally one meal because I've been so preoccupied with like editing this video for you guys. I'm not saying it's a great video, but I'm just trying to fit as much information as I can in there for you because I don't want it to be really long either. Because yeah, there's a lot of things, but I'm trying to make it as many different videos as possible so you guys have all of this info in like one playlist, but it's different info so you guys aren't getting repeated stuff, I guess. I don't know. But you guys get to see how messy my fridge is because I have not cleaned it because I have been so unbothered by the mess inside. Like that's my bedside table at the moment. It's not a complete mess, but it's not as clean as I like it to be for some reason all of a sudden. But yeah, my roommate just left. Uh-oh. Oh well. There was something else I wanted to talk about now, and I've completely forgot. Is there anything you guys want to ask me while I'm trying to remember this? Oh, I feel, man. On the plus side, this room is still better than my brother's rooms because teenage boys' rooms smell horrible. So bad. Oh yeah, there was a winter storm recently. Oh yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to see a tour of your place. That'd be sick. I'm like a slightly nosy person. I just like to see like different people's stuff. But anyways, let's not touch on that subject for now. There was a winter storm the other day. Basically, it means it's like a typhoon with snow essentially. That was also the night. If you guys watch my TikToks, it was the night I went to drop off food at Jin's dorm to surprise him. But then I ended up kind of getting kicked out because it was visitors hours are over and stuff like that. The security, it was a really mean security guard as well because there's two security guards there. One that's really really nice, who's like I basically like joke around with him a lot, like we talk a lot. But then there's this other one that I'm just terrified of, and unfortunately it was the terrifying dude's night. And so yeah, I walked in because someone tapped in, and I was like, I am standing in this cold because it was like -3 degrees, and I was freezing, and the winds were like, where if they blew any harder, like if they blew any harder and faster, I literally would be like swept away. Like I couldn't even make it to the door at one stage. So I was like, I'm gonna go inside and just tell the security guard that I'm just here to drop something off for a friend, and they'll be down in a second, and then I'll leave because it is freezing outside. It's a bit inhumane for that. Normally, you just fill in like a paperwork to sign in that, oh hey, I'm in the lobby, stuff like that. But this guy was hell bent on kicking me out for some reason. There was 20, 15 minutes or so before lockout time. So either way, I was supposed to sign the register, but the guy didn't let me. So he was just trying to kick me out. And then the staff from the dorm room came in and they were like trying to like talk to me. And I was like, I'm not even going to try and use Korean at this stage because I'm just not feeling it. So I spoke to them and they were just telling me in English. They were like, "Oh, visitor hours will be over soon." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I used to live here. I moved out last semester, but my friend will be down in a sec to pick up the bag." And then they were like, "Oh, okay." And they tried to explain to the security guard, but he was just like, "No, like she needs to leave." And then to the dorm staff were just trying to be really nice and like accommodating to Stitch. And they were like, "Oh, like what's your friend's name? Like we'll get one of the girls to send it up to her room." And I was like, "Actually, no, my friend's a dude." And I was so surprised. And then I was like, yeah, here's his name. If you could drop it off, that'd be amazing. So I left the bag with him and I left and walked home in this roaring winds and cold front or whatever the heck it is. It was freezing. And yeah, it was just hell. But I got home and then not even like 2 seconds after I entered the door, Jin calls me and he's just like apologizing profusely. And I was like, it is fine. Like, don't stress. You didn't pick up the phone. You didn't know I was there. Like, I tried to surprise you. No stress. And then he was just really salty on the FaceTime the whole time, just complaining that he's an idiot, that he should have checked his phone bowl. And I was like, it is fine. As long as you get the food, it is fine. And then, yeah, the dude ate a lot of the food that I gave him. Like, I think one meal for him that I give him is equivalent to about my one day's worth of food. Concerning. Like, he is working out a lot more these days. I think he's going to the gym like once or twice a day to do like, muscle work and stuff like that, which is good because, he's taking fitness seriously. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, you have too much energy. I'm just gonna stay in bed and sleep. But yeah, he always wants to go PC cafes. Also, PC cafes. Ah, one thing you guys should probably know about Korea is that they have smoking rooms inside of the buildings and rooms at times. Um, so if you don't like smoke, you should probably be aware of that because cigarettes are very cheap here, but also there's not a there's not a shit ton of laws here compared to like in Australia. I know in America you can smoke in casinos and stuff like that. I almost passed out when I was there, but yeah, like at a lot of places like pool tables and you know, PC cafes, you can smoke inside. There's a little room with little ventilation, and you go in and smoke because it's cold outside and you're not bothered to walk outside. But yes, I also miss you, your butthead. Please take care of yourself and please visit Potcha for the both of us. Yeah, I might be an amazing girlfriend, but also Jin is also probably the more amazing one in our relationship because he deals with me because I'm annoying and yeah, my friends can vouch for that one. I am a mess. And now I don't want any of them to come on here and just be like all agreeing to this because I will probably jump out the window. But yeah, like that's pretty fun. All right, I forgot you were in here. Oh my god. Yeah, that's my best friend Carrie. She's in here for moral support right now. Bruh. Actually, you know, do you guys know Vinny went to Pocha, I think yesterday? That was pretty funny. I was like, are you actually at Pocha? And he was sending me like police videos because the popo was outside. I want to go back to Pocha. But you know, like everyone's been actually like just bombarding me with it. Yeah, that is true. It's because I have different personalities. It balances things out. It makes things interesting. Ah, Carrie, did you break into a liquor store? Like, is that why the police were there? Like, seriously, girl. Miss Future Lawyer. Anywho, uh, yeah, all of you guys, a lot of my friends keep like bombarding me with questions like, when are you coming back? Are you back here? Like, seriously, when is your plane ticket? Like, come on. And I'm like, you paying for my 3 grand quarantine? What? Listen, I don't have 3 grand for quarantine, okay? I barely have 3 grand to pay my tuition. Yes, what do you want, Miss Peter? Hello? Has Corona corrupted your brain? Oh no, he's not processing anymore. What to do? Or has the 10 bottles of soju caught up with you finally, Peter? Good joke. I'm not going back there. I'm not going back to work for them. Because guy, like they expected you to travel a long time for a 3 hour shift. 3 hour shift. Um, guy, like I live an hour and a half away from the city, and they expected me to go in to do a 3 hour shift. It was fine if I, you know, had another job lined up after it, but I think I would like to focus on the one job that I did really enjoy. I did enjoy teaching, but that's not the job I was talking about. I would like to go back to Q. But anyways, I miss your fat head too. Also, Peter, like, I don't know, you should probably just go over to my house. My parents do miss you. They're always like, how is everyone? Are they all still alive? Yeah, I'll come to your company because you guys have fair rates and decent shifts and decent stuff, I guess. No, but like at Q, you get decent amount of hours as well. You get like you can get to a 6 to a 9 hour shift depending on what you are. Um, your peanuts are cuter than you. Okay. Funny enough, you say that. I'm wearing a Snoopy thing, so peanuts to you too, buddy. But anywho, yeah, like Q pay was pretty good, even though I was like starting with, ah, ha, 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 very funny. I will not be her maid. No, because she's too clean for a maid. If anything, if you ever see the inside of her room, you would think you walked into a Muji shop. Like that's how organized the place is. Like, holy cow, what is this place? Like, but also I found out we're kind of related now because turns out Carrie's not Vietnamese at all. Even though everyone's like, "Hey, what's your best friend's nationality?" And I'll be like, "Oh, she's like Chinese, Cambodian, Vietnamese," and they're like, "The fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, now it's just Chinese, Cambodian." Ah, yeah, we should probably all do a group call soon. We should all play games again. That would be fun. Yeah, pretty much. I would. I would have no job. Well, never mind. She's just Chinese, which means she's even more related to me. Yay. Haha, you can't get rid of me now. We have practically shared parts of DNA the same. Fuck shit. She's been trying to get rid of me for like, I don't know. When have you been trying to get rid of me? Like since you 7? So since we were like 12, 13. Yay. You want to sing Baby Shark? You need Bryn to play the, accompaniment. Hello. Welcome. I have no idea where this live is going anymore. All I know is I'm just having fun interacting with you guys. This is the most human interaction I've had practically all week besides Jin. Yeah, pretty much. The first day of high school, we were 12. Oh, no. I was 12. You were 11. My bad. Yeah. If you guys don't know, like in Australia, our school system's a bit funky. I'm Chinese Australian, but I currently live in South Korea. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so in Australia, our system's a bit funky. You're doing another party soon. Are you even allowed to? You're a corona nurse. Aren't you supposed to like be stuck in the corona hotel forever? Man, I feel so bad for you. Ah. Anywho, we should go back to talking about Australian schools, I guess, because the system's really weird. If you are born before, I think it's July, or yeah, I think it's before July, you can start school at the age of 4, and then you'll be turning 5 that year. However, if you're born after July, you start school at the age of 5, so you're 6 that year. So in our school year, basically in your school grade, there is people that are 1 year below the other person, if that makes sense. It is really confusing, unlike other countries where it's like, oh, you're born in 2000, okay, you're in this grade, like you start school now, and everyone in that grade is the same age. But we have to make it extra fucking complicated. So I'm anywhere between 6 months to something else months older than half my friends. It's fun. You can have. I will be there on video call. I will have the cheapest soju at the party and not share with any of you because, haha, man, Peter's birthday was crazy because it cost over $500 for a couple of freaking bottles of soju. That's how expensive Australia is. I think one bottle of soju at our place was like $16. All right, have fun. Don't get sick. Be good. Don't double park anywhere. Don't run anyone over. Be good. Don't do anything stupid until I get back so I can record. Bye. He's supposed to be the most adult one out of all of us. Confused. Wrecked. I'm not old. To be honest, like people still think I'm like 18 here. I got ID checked so many times. Buddy, listen. You're like almost a whole year older than me. You're like a whole fetus cycle older than me, bro. That wasn't even my car, okay? He's talking about the time that I totaled my mom's car and he had to come and save me. Yeah, that was very fun. I finished how long shift? Like I finished like a 14-hour shift basically at 2 different jobs. And I was trying to drive my home back from the city and I wasn't paying attention. So instead of having the car in drive, I had it in reverse. And then I backed up straight into a pole and I wiped out the entire right side because our driving side, the driver's seat in our car is on the right side in Australia. So yeah, I wiped out the entire right side of the car. I will show you a video on TikTok, so stay tuned. But yeah, like it was bad. It cost like $2,000 to fix everything, including the tow truck. That was the $2,000 was excess of what insurance didn't cover. Yeah, my dad was not happy, but he was kind of like, as long as you didn't hurt anyone and didn't hurt yourself. But yeah, Peter came out to sit with me in the car until the tow truck got here 2 hours later. because it wasn't how do you say, like the engine worked and stuff. It was just the review mirror was so dinged up and the door wouldn't close properly, so I couldn't drive it. So we had to wait for the tow truck to come and take it to the tow yard and get it fixed and whatnot. But yeah, and then so we waited 2 hours for the tow truck, and then when the tow truck finally got here, we spent 30 minutes with them just sorting out paperwork and insurance and stuff. And then it took us 3 hours to drive home, which would normally only take about 40 minutes maximum, right? If you're driving really slow, when Peter always takes a toll. But it took us 3 hours on tolls to get home because there was construction work and his nav didn't, like his GPS didn't tell him that there was construction here and there. And he just told me to pass out, and I passed out in the car. And I got home at 5 a.m. and I was like, wow. It was great. My parents didn't have a second car for like 2 days because they were sorting out all the insurance stuff. But my dad really fell in love with the replacement car. Yeah. So he really wanted to get the Hyundai i30, is it? I don't know much about cars, but I think he really liked that one, and he really was hell bent on getting that one when my parents were talking about getting a new car and stuff. But then they compromised and got the car that my mom wanted, which is pretty funny because all the cars in our family are the ones my mom wanted. All right, peace out, dude. Yeah, so the Honda Civic, my mom's choice. The the Toyota Camry, my mom's choice. And now the Toyota massive high, I don't even know what model it is, but it's massive. That new Toyota, my mom's choice. So feels bad for my dad. Yeah, yeah, Peter's everyone's big bro. He's the one you go to if you don't want to see a doctor either. Like you message him, you're like, hey, can you give me some med recommendations? When you're too lazy to go to the doctor, not because, we have to pay for like going to the doctor and stuff, which I actually don't understand how America really works. Like, no offense to you guys, but what the actual fuck is going on with your healthcare system? Like, ever since having like a TikTok account, I've just been seeing more and more of everyone just putting their hospital bills on there and having GoFundMe's and stuff. Like, what? You guys seriously, like, what? It just baffles me a lot. Hondas are pretty cool though. Minus the fact that like in my like area, I guess, basically in Australia, a lot of Asians like to have Hondas and then they like to jazz them up. Um, by jazzing them up, I mean somewhat illegally modifying them a lot of the times. So yeah, there's that. There's that stereotype on Honda cars. Um, but yeah, my brother and I share the Honda Civic now because my parents have the new cars and stuff. But my brother did crash the Honda not too long ago. Wasn't like technically wasn't his fault, but by law it was his fault, if that makes sense. Because my brother is a provisional driver on his greens. He basically took the bulk of the blame because he's on his P's, so they automatically, pin it on him. But he was on the driveway of his friend's house, and his friend opened the door, and then this car came out of literal nowhere. Like it was in the middle of the night as well, so this car just came out of nowhere, no headlights or anything, and hit the door. So it takes out the door on the passenger seat behind the driver's seat, basically on the right side. So you can't obviously drive a car with no door. So yeah, that car was out of commission for a week, and then we had a new car door. That cost about $800 out of pocket, but it was fixed and whatever. But yeah, like I just feel like my family has a thing with crashing car doors now, so maybe we shouldn't drive as much. Who knows? Who knows? But to me, I just find it hilarious. So yeah, like I do miss driving, but you guys, yes, his friend was safe, thankfully. That is very true. It was very lucky that the crash would only damage the door and his friend didn't suffer anything. Um, yeah, actually, his friend was the one who paid for the door because he felt like it was his fault. Which I was like to my brother, I'm like, that's a friend for life. Like, you look out for that friend forever. Someone that sees it as his fault, even though it's technically the other driver's fault, for not fucking turning on their lights. But anyways, it's always like that, isn't it? They always pick on the younger people because it looks like that they did something wrong, even though it was actually, I'm not even trying to argue that one, but yeah. If you guys don't know, driving in Asia is dangerous. Okay, driving in Korea is pretty dangerous. Oh man, like the amount of times I've almost been run over here, sky high, more than I ever have back at home, if that makes sense. I have almost been run over a couple of times back in Australia. That's because people ran red lights instead of waiting for pedestrians to cross the road. But here, it could be green light, it could be any color light, and they'll still run you over. Yeah, pretty much. I was standing on the side of the road, like just on the corner, trying to wait for my turn to cross. And this dude turned way too close and almost took me out with the corner. Like, yeah, and you actually don't have to wear a seatbelt here unless you sit in the front seat. But you should probably wear it just in case you get into an accident. Because if you don't wear a seatbelt, you don't get full cover of the accident insurance or whatever. So after that, I was like, we're wearing seatbelts forever here. But yeah, most people actually don't wear seatbelts around here, and they do over the speed limit. Like, the speed limit is a suggestion, like actual suggestion. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It's actually really, it's actually really heartbreaking if you think about it, because something a driver does, like one choice that a driver does, can change someone's life forever. And like, it is ridiculous. This is why people shouldn't be allowed to drive a lot of the time if they don't really understand the consequences of their actions, and there should be more laws on that. Like, if it was an accident, it's an accident. But if this person knew that they were drunk and, they should be given, the same consequences as anyone that does manslaughter or anything like that. That's just my opinion. Like, there definitely should be more, you know, consequences for these things. Otherwise, people are just going to keep repeating it. That's why, motor accidents are so freaking high and whatever. But anywho, let's talk about another topic, because I feel like we should end on a fluffy note. Yeah. Fluffy. I don't really know what fluffy. On the plus side, you guys will get to meet Jim's puppies when we go to his house. He's been whining about his puppies for a while. He's like, I really want to see my dogs. And yeah, they're really small. Like, my dog was massive. Yeah, we're going together. I actually forgot the date that we booked the tickets, but we're going together, so that's gonna be fun. It's like a 2 hour bullet train ride from our local bullet train station, which is not bad. I get to just sleep on the train for 2 hours, I guess, or do some work. We shall see what we will do. But there's Wi-Fi on there, so yeah, you get pretty good stuff done on there. Plus, there's bathrooms, vending machines, and stuff like that. So it's pretty much like a plane almost, minus the vending machine, obviously. And you can leave your luggage in the common area instead of having to bring it into your seat with you. And the funny thing is, no one will touch your stuff and no one will steal your stuff because the amount of security cameras there are around. So, plus, just the people in general don't do it. But yeah, like, you just wouldn't take someone's luggage and run off, which is very weird for me. Like, I always feel like I have to keep my luggage with me because, like, in Australia, if you leave your stuff unattended, it's free game. So yeah, like, that's one thing that I've learned here. But yeah, I'm gonna compile a whole thing and you guys can see whether or not it's helpful to you guys. So yeah, we're almost at 1 year for my 1 year anniversary being in Korea. So in 2 months, it will be my less than a month, like a month and a half, and it'll be my 1 year anniversary. That's fun. But anywho, I'm gonna head out now, because it has been an hour, and I think I take enough time of your night and your day. And I should really finish this video and upload it before the end of the night. So yeah, to stay on schedule to upload on a Sunday. And yeah, I feel like cereal, so I'm gonna go eat cereal. But anyway, thank you guys for coming to hang out with me for a bit. It was really nice chatting with you guys. If you guys have any topics you guys want to talk about in my lives, let me know. You guys can always send me, inboxes or like leave comments and stuff like that. I do check all of them. So yeah, if I accidentally miss the message, I'm really, really sorry. Sometimes the messages don't get sent out and sometimes the comments don't get sent out either. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have much else to say. Just hope you guys have a really good night and I will see you guys soon. Bye. And no.